So while I've got this, while I've been able to park for this boathouse at Isle Water, you've probably seen the video I put on last week from Isle Water. Absolutely beautiful up here it is. Well, today I'm going to show you how to get long exposures and how to work out the easiest way to work out exposure mode, exposure time for a 10-stop filter. There is a dead easy, simple way that you haven't got to use the apps or anything else. If I'm in a rush, this is what I tend to do in my go-to setup, and I'll talk you through it. So join me in a minute. I'm going to get set up and I'll talk you through all my settings that I'm going to use and how they work. So, I've got the composition set up. We've got these reeds in the left hand side of the frame, the boathouse just behind it. I'll show you the back of the camera and I'll show you the settings that I use. I'm going to switch over into manual from aperture priority, and I'll show you exactly how to use a 10-stop filter if you want a long exposure, either 30 seconds, a minute, 2 minutes. I'll show you exactly how to do it right now. I'm currently shooting ISO 50. I'm at f8. I am just a little bit overexposed, which didn't really want, but I can get away with that anyway. I'm only a third of a stop, but the main thing I want is 30th of a second. And the reason for this is when you put a 10-stop filter on, that 30th of a second will equate to 30 seconds. So you should be able to, you've got your settings now and your exposure. Let's say we have a third of a stop overexposed. So what you can do is actually just, no, I'm going to leave it simple. F8, the F8 is going to work out better because you're working in stops. So after that you've got F11 and then F16, which will take you from 30 seconds to a minute or 2 minutes. So let's start off these base settings of ISO 50. If yours goes down lower, use it. If not, then you might have to put a polarizing filter on just to drop down a little bit more. But what you want is a 30th of a second, which is what we've got there. So I'll now drop a 10-stop filter on and I'll show you again what happens. So as you can see, we are pitch black. So what we're now going to do is come all the way down to 30 seconds, which is there, and 2-second timer is on and we're going to get the shot. So ignore the slight blue cast on the image. As you can see, we are still a bit dark, a bit too bright. The blue cast, if you use leaf filters, you do get this blue cast, and it's easily rectified in Photoshop or Lightroom. Just change your white balance. If you click on a neutral point somewhere, like on the boathouse itself, or even in the sky, you will get a good white balance. So from here, if you want to get even longer, to just get rid of these lines, the way to do this now is you've got to go into bulb mode. On this camera you have anyway, so we're going to go bulb. Because we're at 30 seconds, to go one stop longer at 1 minute, we need to change the aperture by 1 stop. So from f8 we're going to come down to f11, which we are there. We're now going to come into the menu on this Canon camera, bulb timer, enable, and we are going to set this now to 1 minute. And we're going to take the shot. So join me back again in 1 minute. At 1 minute we have got rid of those lines and it is looking a lot smoother now, the water. I'm going to change the composition slightly to get a bit more sky, and I actually want to underexpose a little bit. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to change to f16, which is one stop darker. I'm going to change the exposure time from 1 minute to 2 minutes, which is one stop longer. And now what I'm going to do is, because I want it a bit darker, I'm going to go 2/3 of a stop darker. So from f16 we're going to come f20. Actually I'm going to come down to f18. I'll try this f18 to 2 minutes. So now 2-second timer is back on again. I've just changed the composition slightly just to get a bit of sky in it, and hopefully just to blur the sky as well as the water. So let's see what happens at 2 minutes. And as you can see, we have got even smoother now. I'm hoping the sky, I can bring some detail out in the sky just by dropping the highlights. I am hoping. It is pretty dull, the sky, to be honest with you. A little bit of blue, white. Don't know if I'm going to get anything there, but it does look absolutely beautiful. To try and get that sky, I think I'm going to just try and underexpose just a little bit more. I'm actually going to come down to f22, which is an extra stop darker, and again I'm going to do 2-second timer and another 2 minute exposure. So I'll show you this in a minute when it's done. So while we're waiting for this 2 minute exposure, the thing to remember, if you're unsure about stops, like from f8 to f11, f16, f22, most cameras are set at thirds of a stop. So 3 clicks with the aperture going from f8 to f11, 3 clicks is one stop. So where you start at from f8 at 30th of a second, drop your 10 stop filter on, change that to 30 seconds, which is 10 stops darker, lighter. Then if you want to go to a minute, you can either just go 3 clicks or go to f11 if you know the stops. That gives you a minute. If you want to go to 2 minutes, just move the dial 3 clicks again, or go to f16, 2 minutes. If you think the image is too bright or too dark, you can adjust slightly either way then. If you want 4 minutes, just change then from f16 to f22 and so on. It is dead easy. The key to remember is your starting point. From f8 you have got room to move through f11 to give you a minute, f16 to give you 2 minutes, which is usually enough to blur sky and water. If you do need a third stop, you can do it and go to 4 minutes. It is just a case of remembering the camera moves in 3 clicks is one stop, or if you learn what the stops are, is even better. And yeah, start off 30 seconds, which equates to 30th of a second at f8, which equates to 30 seconds once the filter is on, and then just go from there. Just everything's doubled, so from 30 seconds to a minute, 2 minutes, 4 minutes, 8 minutes, is each double is one stop. So you just change the aperture, that one stop to match, and that way you don't need to mess about with phones. It could be that you're up to your kneecaps, I was going to say something else, but up to your kneecaps in water, you don't want to mess about with your phone in case you drop it. This is a good way to just get a starting point and work through all the different stops and exposure times to get your exposure that you actually want. Let's have a look at the camera again now at this one stop overexposed, no, one stop underexposed image. So what I have got now on the back of the camera, you may not see it on the GoPro, but there is detail in the sky. It is quite blurred, the sky, so it looks beautiful. The image is dark, but the thing to remember, I have got another image, a stop brighter, that I can actually merge and just as an HDR to get that little bit more detail in the foreground and the boathouse. But 2 minutes seems to be perfect to get this water. It looks absolutely beautiful, it does. So I hope this has helped you. It's a bit rushed because I'm just heading my way up to Ullswater now. In the last video we've gone over the other side of the lake. I'm not going to turn you around because you've got the sun right behind you. And there's just only room for one car to park here. So I have literally just driving down, the car just pulled out and I've pulled straight in. So I have been able to get this boathouse. While I got the shot for the other video, I thought I'll do a little long exposure video here just to show you an easy way to get long exposures without using the apps to work your times out. There is ways of doing it, and this is by far the easiest, I think. Once you understand, by altering your exposure time, by doubling it from your 30th of a second, well, from your 30 seconds to a minute, to 2 minutes, to 4 minutes, 8 minutes, 16 minutes, 32 minutes, each one of those is one stop. So as long as you've started somewhere like f8, you can then move your apertures down to compensate for that longer exposure time, and you've got a perfectly exposed photograph with your 10-stop filter at whatever speed you want. It's really handy to know, and a lot of people do know it, who use filters a lot. I don't do that much long exposure photography. I might start getting back into it again, to be honest. I do love the fine art feel that you can get at coastal areas and stuff. Just a minimalistic. I love blurring the sky. Not a fan of smooth water, just really ain't. I like to see detail there. But I love to see blurred, smooth sky. So, yeah, I might start doing a bit. What do you think? Drop me a comment, let me know if you think I should. So, yeah, I'll drop these images on for you now. And there's only a couple to drop on, really. Please subscribe. Drop me a comment below. Check the description out. There's links to everything down there, social media. Everything you need to know, all the gear that I use, it's all in there. I'm going to head off. I'm going to get me some dinner because I'm absolutely starving now. I've got hot chocolates in the car with a jet boil, so I'm looking forward to that. Maltesers, hot chocolate. Sounds nice, dude. I'll let you know on the next video if it's any good or not. Till then, take it easy, enjoy these photos, and please drop me a comment below. Let me know if you think them nice, if you think they're crap, let me know. I'm not a fan of long exposure photography, I will say that. So if any of you think they look dreadful, please tell me, and you won't offend me at all. I'll probably look at these on the laptop later and think, nah, they're crap. But there you go, I might even like them, you never know. So yeah, enjoy the images, and till next time, take it easy.